Title: Pillows and Punchlines. Jim had never thought a month of stolen glances and playful banter over the copier would lead him to the back of a Kmart at 3 a.m., surrounded by a fortress of plush pillows. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, casting a sterile glow on the makeshift nest he and Lisa had created, a sanctuary from the monotony of their night shift. It was a secret hideaway, a place where they could escape the watchful eyes of the other employees and indulge in their flirtation without the prying ears of their manager. Okay, but if we're doing this, we need music, Lisa said, her eyes sparkling with mischief as she settled onto the pile of pillows. Jim felt his heart race. This was it, this was the moment he had been waiting for. He fumbled with his phone, scrolling through his playlists. But in the dead zone of the store, he only had one option left. I only have these weird Japanese wrestling songs, he admitted, a sheepish grin spreading across his face. Perfect, let's hear it, she laughed, her enthusiasm infectious. He selected the least awful track, a bizarre mix of dramatic orchestration and intense shouting that echoed through the makeshift pillow fort. As they both lay back, the pillows shifted beneath them, a precarious mountain of fluff that creaked and swayed. Jim felt a rush of adrenaline mixed with nerves. Was this really happening? He stole a glance at Lisa, who was looking up at the ceiling, her hair spilling out like a halo. But 20 seconds in, the illusion shattered. Lisa abruptly paused, her expression morphing from amusement to bewilderment. WTF is this? She exclaimed, her laughter turning into incredulous disbelief. She sat up, her eyes wide as she dropped his phone onto the pile of pillows, the screen still flashing with the chaotic sounds of wrestling commentary. Wait, it's just a joke, Jim stammered, but it was too late. Lisa was already standing, brushing off imaginary dust from her jeans, a look of mock horror on her face. I can't believe you thought this was romantic. As she turned to leave, Jim felt a mixture of embarrassment and panic. No, come back, I promise I have better music. He called after her, but she was already striding away, the laughter still bubbling from her lips, leaving him alone in the dim light of the Kmart. He lay back on the pillows, staring at the ceiling, the sound of the wrestling theme still echoing in his ears. This was not how he had envisioned their first real moment together, and yet, he couldn't help but chuckle at the absurdity of it all. Maybe it wasn't the grand romantic gesture he had hoped for, but it was definitely a memorable one. As he gathered the courage to follow her out, he heard her voice from around the corner, still laughing. Next time, just bring a mixtape, okay? With a grin, Jim stood up, the pillows tumbling around him. Deal, he shouted, his heart racing not just from embarrassment but from the thrill of the chase. Maybe they'd laugh about this later, but for now, he was determined to turn this awkward moment into something better. After all, if they could survive a pillow fort and weird wrestling songs, what else could they conquer together?